Nuno and João are partners from the Walking Mentorship, and they bring the inside look in the life of the people they walk with. The podcast Keep Walking With Me searches for potential solutions towards the best version of ourselves. Every month, we walk together with a guest. There is a disclaimer that needs to be shared. After listening to this program, you might feel the urge to step outside and go for a long walk. But don't worry, that is absolutely normal.
Welcome to the podcast Keep Walking With Me. Today we have another very special guest walking and talking with us. So let's start by asking, in a nutshell, who is Ruta Mikulenaite?
Hello, everyone. I am a human being, and I think today to say that I am a human being is a big thing because it's so easy to lose that. And for me, this I would say deep definition of human being defines so many things. It means, I am a living being who is emotional, who is connected to nature, and who is trying to connect with nature, and who is trying to transmit this nature connection to others.
Wow, I love it. The human being part, I vote on that. Thank you, Ruta. Let me start by asking you. You left, let's say, a more conventional professional path to build a life around mountains, outdoor experience, coaching. What was happening inside you before that transition happened?
So when I reconnected myself with nature, it happened around 10 years ago. I really felt how it transformed me and how it almost started recreating me, or maybe reminding to me who I am actually, because I think I have forgotten that through trying to climb a career ladder and trying to achieve. And I had a very successful career. And then the call was so strong in me that I felt, okay, if I don't try to do something else, I will regret. And for me, the question is always, when you are at the end of your life, maybe if you are lucky, you are 80 or 90 years old, if you are very lucky, right? And you're about to die, and you ask yourself, what I am regretting the most in my life. And I felt that this would be one thing that I would be regretting if I don't try to really connect deeper with nature and open doors for the others to experience similar.
Wow.
Well, thank you. I really I find it really interesting. You addressed it again now, trying to connect people with nature and reconnecting with nature yourself. And I actually feel this is an illusion that we've humans created. We are nature. We are not artificial, as much as we forget about it. Uh, and definitely, and that being said, definitely we need to reconnect with ourselves, I would say. So you in your work you refer many times to be outside, and I would love to understand how does that specifically, what does that specifically mean? Is that physically, geographically, spiritually, or emotionally? How do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good point, Nuna. Actually, when I was presenting myself, I wanted to say I am nature, but I also
And
did
you
not
are.
want to sound arrogant. But I definitely also believe that, you burn the tree, if you speak in very physical forms, if you burn the tree, you have ashes. If you burn the body of a human being, you also have ashes. So we are in a way made of the same, just maybe in a different form for some time. But to me, indeed, I what I feel that nature allows us to thrive emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and physiologically. I feel it really takes all these dimensions when we when we open ourselves. And I think saying connected to nature is very limiting, because I believe it's a relationship. It's a relationship, and every time we maybe continue that journey, or we start again, depending how we feel, depending where we are in our life. But for me, indeed, is really with different dimensions. And I think it starts with physical, when we start moving our body in a natural environment. So it's a natural movement. Our brain starts working differently. Something starts shifting in our body. So we start shifting emotions. We start feeling better emotionally. And then there is that beauty and awe and the little details that we see, and also vast landscapes, all these things. And that brings us to something higher than us, to something very spiritual. So I don't have expectations that every person has to experience that. It works in different ways, but we have that chance, that opportunity in the world, which has become very hectic. We have that opportunity to experience these very important dimensions. Yeah. So for me, it's not about geographical location. For me, it's about, human, because I believe you can connect with nature wherever you are. Now, I have to say, the land is something very sacred, and is very important for me to have a relationship with the land. This is why I lead people only in Switzerland and in Lithuania. So 2 locations geographically.
Well, on that note, so you guide people into forests, mountains, but also uncertainty, like weather, for instance, but also silence. Why do you think so many people are craving these experiences right now, in this moment of our lives?
Because I think so many things, but one that stands out to me is because we can experience something very truthful, something concrete and truthful. It's here and now, and we see it, and nobody has to tell us. Nobody has to tell us, oh, look, that is beautiful. Most of these things it's evident that it's beautiful. So nobody gives opinion, neither about what we see, neither about who we are. And it's true, and it's natural, and we can touch it, and we come to something very primal, so to experience nature with our senses, with different senses. So it's really an antidote, and especially this year when we accelerate with AI, it's a massive antidote to something that is very true, because today behind the screen we don't know anymore what is true. I hope you are true, by the way.
Well, we the best way we go for a walk together, and then we can see each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. The same on my side, right? I can add a picture here. I can create an avatar, right? And so we laughing about that, but so many times we don't know anymore what is true.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's an issue. Yeah. And definitely going into nature, that feels naturally true. It's the reality we developed in for 300,000 years, basically.
And then we can live our own truth. We can live our own truth, right? We can slow down. We can slow down. We can scream. We can walk. We can be free. We can do what our body feels like it wants to do.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that leads me to ask you, I mean, many people look at, let's say, landscape or scenery, they look at nature as something in the backdrop, not something that is close to us. But would you say that you can see nature as medicine, as something that is an antidote, as you mentioned? And how did that? How do you see that?
Oh, definitely. And like, sometimes I wish I could prove to a modern person, to the modern audience, and I could scan the brain of the person who just came before a walk and after a walk, and show. but I witnessed so many different transformations without expecting that the person has to transform. And I witnessed so many changes in people's lives, so many, sometimes I notice physically that after spending time in nature for 3-4 days, so don't have to be even very long, I can see how physically there is a change in the face. and the person really, so we don't give any pills, right? You also know that, and from your experience, we don't give any pills, but there is a physical change, and I feel there is more serenity, more peace, more confidence to go back, more presence to go back in their lives. So I definitely think it's a medicine. And I like, it's back to these 5 elements I talked, with different elements: spiritual, psychological, emotional, and physical. And we can expand it to, ethical, aesthetical, environmental. And this it is healing us in different ways.
It's so interesting because Noon keeps reminding me, but we always forget that we should always take a picture in our programs on the first day and on the last day, because it looks like a different person. But you know what? I'm afraid that on the first day they are not so willing to take a picture. So anyway,
that's true. It's a bit, yeah.
On the last day, they have a huge smile and they're happy to be on the picture. On the first day, sometimes it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But since you mentioned medicine, maybe it's a great time for you, Ruta, to give us your first song, because in the end of the day, music, it's also a great medicine. What do you want to share with us?
So the first song is a Lithuanian and not so Lithuanian one. I will explain about that. It's a song from the country of my origins, and it's by Austėja, called singer called Austėja, and the song is called Žiema, not so easy for a foreign speaker to understand, but it's called Winter in English. And the song is this song is coming from a specific part of Lithuania, which is called Žemaitija or Samogitija in English. And until now, this part of Lithuania has their own dialect, but it could be almost like a different language. So already in the whole world, Lithuania is known as a very small country. And now within Lithuania, we still have, we can call it a cultural or ethnic group, which has been known for centuries, from the times of pagans. And we still have this the dialect. And this song talks about how beautiful winter is in Lithuania. And it is beautiful. And especially nowadays, when in some countries, we are losing winter because of climate change. It talks about this incredibly beautiful winter and the feeling of winter. And for me, it's also, the song is a reminder about my ancestors who were pagans, and in this land called Samogitija, Lithuanians were one of the last nation taking over Christianity, because pagans were fighting against that, and it was the last country in Europe who was adopting this Christian religion. And Samogitians, they were even after Lithuanians. So Lithuania got it in 1387, and Samogitians only around 1417. So they fight it even more. And the fight was about keeping their own roots. And pagans, in a nutshell, is about worshipping gods linked to nature. And so they really wanted to keep. It was, of course, resistance for something new, but it was also resistance because we really wanted to keep their own, the way they were worshipping nature. And I get goosebumps talking about that.
That's wonderful. And actually, let's dive into winter in the middle of spring, which sounds like a great experience. So let's enjoy.
Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs. Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs. Aš tau nesakiau, kol naktį sapnavau, kaip savim išmainiau į cukraus gabalą staigė, ranka daug po kojom, uola tor, kol aš per ašaras iškau pasakas. Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs. Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs. Jūrų žuvis plauk, bet gilė mintis trauk, kol iškel pažadą nevirsti ašaką. Tave sutikau iš karto, pagavau, nes tu man primeni aušrinį rytmetį. Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs. Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs. Jei galėtum to, pakelk mane, parodyk už kalną, duok tik tą veiną, žiauri graži šeima, kaip į kiekvieną ateina, man tavęs riek, man tavęs tavęs.
Well, thank you, Ruta, for taking us to such a beautiful landscape. At Walking Mentorship, we often feel that walking actually changes the architecture of the conversation itself. Why do you think humans open up differently when they move side by side?
So you mean when we walk together?
Yeah.
Because, walking, sometimes we can walk side by side and sometimes one after another. So that's very important, right? But indeed, what I like, first of all, I never lie. I don't force people, or I don't give rules how they should walk, that we always have to go one after the other. I like to give that freedom. And indeed, very often in my walks, people walk side by side. Actually, I love this. It comes like an insight for me, and because often we want also to have a conversation, and conversations in nature are also often different, right? We are more present, we are more listening, attentive. What happens, what I feel in a nutshell, connection with the land happens, connection with self, and connection with another human being. And that brings us to something very powerful, because also it is not so easy nowadays to connect with a stranger, right? So these people, when they come, they don't know each other, and once of a sudden, they start making a connection. They start making not necessarily a friendship, but even if it does not turn into a friendship, there is the connection that stays sometimes forever and that stays with them. And this is back to this thing that in the end we are all humans. And
Absolutely. I really connect to that. And I mean, we've had in our groups Ukrainians and Russians walking side by side, Palestinians and Israelis walking side by side. And it is beautiful to witness how, in the end, humanity connects us all, and we're not that different.
yeah,
And when the guards come down and when people take off the masks, they really connect and they become some of them we've seen becoming lifelong friends and really having a huge impact on each other. So that is something beautiful to see. You have obviously a lot of experience with walks and trekking and guiding groups. But I would ask your specific, and you already mentioned that after 3-4 days you see something happening in people. You witness that. But I would ask you for your personal experience. What is it that happens inside of you when you walk for 3, 4, 5, 10, I don't know how many days,
yeah.
and how does that change your life?
Oh, yeah, it literally changed my life already, and it keeps on changing. That I have to say that now to find that time for me is becoming quite challenging due to my
Hmm.
work, which is a bit of a paradox. But I try to make that time still, and at least go for 2 or 3 days. And for me, it's just first of all, immense freedom,
Hmm.
connection, and feeling that there is always this most important thing that holds me, and it's the earth. And just feeling, those steps. And sometimes I sleep in wild places without a tent or anything, and really keeping it very open. So for me, it's really that connection, and back to myself. And the other profound thing, it really empowers me. It empowers me so much. Sometimes I also have doubts about what I do, like how long I can do this, and maybe I should not do this. And then I go to nature, and I'm like, oh, of course you should do this. So it really like encourages me, empowers me, and I get also, for me, what is very significant, I get a constant flow of ideas. I
Hmm.
become very creative. And sometimes I write them down, or sometimes I then record them, and I don't share everything on social media, but sometimes I do, because it comes like natural. I don't
Hmm.
go and say, what should I record, or what should I, say to others? It comes naturally by being there. So the creative part is really activated very strongly in those moments.
Oh, that's wonderful to see that we speak the same language, and I'm listening to you, and it sounds like I'm listening to
Hmm.
myself.
And
It's
and how about
wonderful.
you? What's for you prominent when you walk alone?
Ah, that's, again, I could repeat a little bit of what you just said. It becomes a bit of challenging to with the flow of things, I mean, on a regular year, we might be out on 30, 40 programs, which gives very little time, but it's important. And I think, I don't know, I can speak for Nuno, but I guess that we are being better every year at blocking times where we actually combine, not to feel too guilty, where we combine time for ourselves with a little bit of work. So every year we kind of try to add new programs into our portfolio. So I would say that maybe 2, 3 times per year, we have the perfect excuse to have time for ourselves because we need to scout for new programs. But truly
Yeah,
speaking, usually we go on our own, either together or maybe with a couple of friends, but we are not mentoring anyone. We are not with the pressure that that we have in every program. And in the end, it's exactly what you mentioned. You put things into perspective, but the moment you step outside, your battery recharges completely, the flow of ideas. And then you understand, you go back to basics, that why are you here and why we do what we do. And then it becomes super easy, the answer, which is, keep walking.
Well,
But
let me just build on that, Joe, because we have a practice. Usually, the last day in our week-long programs, we invite people to walk on their own. So basically, we just let them go one by one, and usually one of us goes in front and the other closes the group. And but people walk on their own the whole day, and so we also walk on our own, and that is
Mm.
of a week walking. So our body and brain and emotional status is already in a good place. So although it's only one day, well, a few hours, some depends on the route, but a couple of hours. But I always find peace, and I always find huge well-being in those moments, and it really just feels like that what's we're supposed to be doing. That should be life. It shouldn't be the rest. That should be life.
Yeah.
So and just, well, to add something, I think that connects very much to what has been the history of our species, which for many thousands of years, that's what we did. We just roamed around the planet, just walking from one place to the other, probably in small groups, sometimes alone, sometimes with others. But
Yeah.
that would be life. So
Yeah.
we probably shouldn't forget about that.
But it's
Yeah.
funny that you're talking about species and modern modern work culture, let's say. I mean, what we celebrate these days, it's speed, certainty, optimization, efficiency. But actually, mountains seems that they teach exactly the opposite. And when we think about leaders, and to be honest, I mean, having all of us had lives in corporate life as entrepreneurs and so on, what do you think leaders need to relearn from nature today?
Oh, a great question. Um, I think first of all, to have courage to be natural, to be human, to be as they are. And so that would be number one thing. And then I would say, also the connection part. I think for the leaders today is very difficult to connect people because
Mhm.
teams are remote, different countries, different cultures. And how do you connect? How do you connect those teams, right? How do you create ecosystem? So for me, is this collaboration and connection from nature. Definitely another element. And I would say also collaboration. One moment. You know that one of the philosophers said, famous philosopher said, nature doesn't hurry, yet everything is accomplished. And this is about slowing down, and you know that the project and the team needs to take a certain pace because there is so much rush and pressure. So really how to give. I am aware that it's difficult to give very natural pace to projects and companies' objectives. So there are definitely goals that need to be achieved, but between those goals and and then the way things are being done, I think there is something in between. So how to adapt that pace, that feels not maybe completely slow but natural, and because in the end it's human beings who work behind that. Well, now also AI, but but there are still human beings. So how to, not completely overrush it, which keeps the sanity of the leader and the sanity of the team.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I really feel that is something that we as a species and as we grow faster, we really need to learn how to regain our natural speed, because it's just not productive in reality. Long term, it's not sustainable to keep this pace. But as you were talking, I think I read somewhere that um, you wrote that difficult weather creates the most memorable experiences, or something along these
Yeah.
lines. And we definitely see weather as a great help in many groups, in many situations. It really brings a lot, a dimension that you cannot control. Um, but people tend to look at that as discomfort, essentially. And I would love your take on how much discomfort is actually needed these days, how much we need to get out of this apparently comfortable zone that we are in, but it's actually, I think, very uncomfortable, and go to real discomfort that we would call going to the rain or the cold,
Yeah.
and how that can teach us something. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe that that kind of discomfort that comes from nature, wind and snow, snowing on your face, that sometimes you cannot see, and lot of rain that
You're
even
soaked.
your most expensive gear completely
All
soaked.
get soaked.
So I think it's very ancestral, because our ancestors lived in nature, and
Hmm.
they were, it was part of their life.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah.
brings to something very ancestral, and then I believe it brings us that trust in ourselves, that wow, I am, that it's like a reminder, wow, I am capable to be with that, not only to overcome, but to be with
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Not, it's not a fight, it's how to be with that. Is how to be with that. And I think the other important learning there, it's equalizing us. It's
Hmm.
then, like I say, you can have decathlon gear and Arc'teryx gear, and in the end,
Yeah, you all
both
get
are
soaked.
soaked.
And I love when people come up with, oh no, I have this waterproof super pooper duper. Okay, it will get soaked. I can guarantee that. That's the only thing I know,
Yeah, yeah,
regardless of all the technology.
yeah,
But it's okay because you are waterproof, so your skin will not get soaked, so you can survive. It's not a problem.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's a very, very good question. How much discomfort do we need? I am not always for the fact that you should get out of your comfort zone. I think sometimes it's good to be comfortable, but
Hmm.
indeed, right now, our problem in the humanity is that we are too much comfortable, and we have constantly, dopamine accessible. So we are able to, you could take a phone and scroll the whole day, and you would get dopamine shots the whole day. It's very, very basic example, but
Hmm. But
we
is
have
is that comfortable really, if you think about it?
long
Um,
term. It's not comfortable, because
but it
that's
feels
what
good.
makes us ill. What
Hmm.
it uses us. It takes our energy, it takes
Hmm.
our
Hmm.
resourcefulness, and it makes us ill in the end.
Hmm.
And so I believe that some discomfort in outdoors is great. I'm not for too much discomfort. I'm with,
Agreed.
step by step discomfort.
Hmm.
And I believe that when human beings go through that, it brings them very precious lessons about themselves,
Hmm.
about actually what are they capable of. And again, nobody tells, oh, you're capable of this, you're capable of that. It's just nature shows.
Hmm.
Nature is the best coach in a nutshell. No?
Agreed. Never try to compete.
And it's wonderful that you were talking about comfort. Maybe this is a great time for you to give us your second song, because music usually gives us so much comfort.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Yes, so the second song is Soil's Daughter by Aisha Badru. And this song is about going back to the forest, but it's also about the roots and the fact that we are so disconnected from nature, and that in order to transmit, this lineage to our next generations, we need to be connected. We need to not necessarily worship, but really respect our roots, respect our ancestors. And this is something very linked to the land. First of all, land where we come from, and then, in a nutshell, the land on which we are living, the earth. And this song, sometimes I listen on repeat, and it came by chance in my Spotify feed as I was going to my second forest retreat in Lithuania. So it's a perfect song illustrating what I do in that retreat, because initially, when I started, I became a trekking guide and coach. I was all about mountains and Switzerland, and I was like, I just want to lead people in the mountains. This is my most empowering space, and that's it. But a few years after, I felt that I want to bring my audience, my community, to my homeland, and that's how I started creating Forest Retreat. And so this song is linked to that, the really coming back to the basics, to where I come from, but also bring my community there and practice some, not really practice, but remember some very basic but powerful practices linked to nature.
Wow. Let's do it. Let's enjoy.
Now down by the water, she told me I am the soil's daughter. And although I look just like my father, my roots, they extend much farther. But we don't respect each other, although we depend on one another. And if we don't form a band of brothers, our strength will remain uncovered. We are the echoes of those before us, and all our stories, they form a chorus. Our stage is the earth below us, but we destroy it till she can't hold us. So let us travel into the forest to see without it, then there is no us. Become protectors of the waters, 'cause they will nourish our daughters.
Thank you again, Ruta. We are really having few trips on this conversation. One is verbal, another one is audio, and that's amazing. But I would like to go back to silence, actually. You guide people through silence quite often because nature offers that. What has silence taught you personally? What have you learned with silence?
Ah, um, uh, Silence, for me, silence is not difficult because I am actually, nobody would believe me, but I am an introvert person and I need a lot of silence, a lot of me time to absorb what's going on, to integrate what is going on. And for me, silence allows me to listen to myself. And I believe after sometimes it's not comfortable because listening to self sometimes is not a comfortable place, but it's a very insightful place. And so it really allows me to hear myself, but also actually it allows me to hear the world. So of course depends where, if I take a silent moment in nature, it's also I receive a gift, a sensory overload, like of course most linked to hearing, um, and I hear the world, and I'm like, what a wonderful world, like the birds or the trees or whatever, or water. So in the end, it's not that silent, but it's silent and it's not silent, right? We can discuss how silent it is. But a few times I also remember these moments in silence when you are in that space and it's just empty. There is no color, there is no sound, there is nothing, just complete emptiness. And that emptiness is at the same time very fulfilling.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I always repeat this at the entrance of one of the monasteries that, every year we pass by in one of the programs. I think it's still there. There is a little sign that says "Silence speaks," and usually people stop there because it's right at the beginning of the program, and I think I can see in their faces questioning what does it actually mean? Silence speaks. But I guess for you to hear silence, you need to make silence.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a very powerful state to be in.
Yeah.
Definitely. Ruta, I'm very curious because on your first song you mentioned you made the connection to the pagan ancestry and the roots. As pagan religion being more connected to nature, and now somehow your second song connected to the forest and to returning to the, let's say, mother, which for me has every connection. Um, and how do you see that? How do you see nature as our mother, as our medicine? You already mentioned, but also as for some people an escape from life, and other people like a reconnection with life. Um, how maybe I'm just bringing up too many a confusing question, but I was curious in that sense that
Yeah.
because I feel for some people it can be really an escape, and for some other people it's definitely the way to reconnect. And what is your experience there?
Yeah, so I think we call it escape, and even when we talk about programs, we say to people, escape from your daily life,
Mhm.
and but for me, actually, it's a return. It's really a return to where we belong, and I always try not to excite people in my programs, but to see what we can take with them. What does this return means, and how can we
Mhm.
how can we take something from that for their habits, for what we can build into their lives in the end. So it's not a one shot medicine, you know. For me, for me, I think it's a return. And then what's behind escape? It's a return, and everyone experience that in a different way.
100%, which actually makes me think, what do people try to hide in the beginning of a program with you, and what eventually emerges, after a few days outside? What do you think it's kind of more visible?
Yeah. I think everyone returns to some, return can also be metaphorical. So there is a return to the land, a return to nature, return to self, but can be return also to some memories about nature, to some childhood memories, and to where we come from. So back to ancestry. And Nuno, you asked another very important question that just before, about ancestry, motherhood, and the earth. And for me, this is in a nutshell why I do what I do. Also because we all have mothers, right? We all came from the mothers, right? And then we all have one mother, that is Mother Earth. So there is one thing that we all human beings we have in common, and that we walk on the same earth.
Yes.
And that, I think, is something very powerful to understand. And for me, there is also linked with my mother, because I lost my mother very early. I was a child when she left. And it was very difficult for me to figure out my life, At that time, therapies were not so popular like now. It was not something common. In my family, nobody went on therapy. Nobody knew how to handle the situation when I was 9 years old. And then with my in my young adulthood, I, of course, did different type of therapies, classical and alternative ones. And I don't know in the end how, which one helped me the most. But what I definitely felt when I returned to nature, when I connected with nature, it gave me, all what I was looking for. It gave me this perspective. It gave me this sort of steady feet, and sort of also connection with my mother, remembering that, only the physical body is gone, but the connection is there. And that I am connected with her, and I can continue connecting and reconnecting through elements, through land, through flowers, through stars, through, all these different things that we experience in nature.
Wow. Love it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Really meaningful.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for our third song, right, João?
I think so.
Yeah, so we come to something very classical that everybody knows, and it's a Whitney Houston, and it's Step by Step. And I mean, this song, sometimes I also play with my participants when maybe we had a bit of difficult day. So it's very metaphorical. It's metaphorical because it's about taking steps through obstacles, and we all go through different obstacles in life. But step by step, bit by bit, right, stone by stone, we make it to somewhere. We make it to, and for me, the meaning of the song is also keep on walking. Take those steps. I would say the most important thing is not to stop moving, right? Not to stop moving, not to stop taking steps if you can still take them. And I think other thing for me, the song is about passion, because for me, Whitney Houston embodies the person who followed her passion, despite very, very strong passion, despite all the obstacles she had. And I think also I love passionate people, and it's very humbling for me to also see other people who create things out of passion, like you too, and many others in nowadays. But that despite the obstacles, like personal obstacles in life that we face in our personal lives and professionally, it can be not so easy. We take it step by step, bit by bit, and yeah, and I love that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's listen to Whitney Houston.
Well, there's a bridge and there's a river that I still must cross as I'm going on my journey. Though I might be lost, and there's a road I have to follow, a place I have to go. Well, no one told me just how to get there, but when I get there I know, 'cause I'm taking it step by step, bit by bit, stone by stone, yeah, brick by brick, oh yeah, step by step, day by day, mile by mile. And this old road is rough and ruined, so many dangers along the way, so many burdens might fall upon me, so many troubles that I have to face. Oh, but I won't let my spirit fail me. I won't let my spirit go until I get to my destination. I'm gonna take it slow because I'm making it step by step. You know I'm taking that bit by bit, bit by bit. Come stone by stone, yeah, brick by brick, brick by brick, step by step, step by step. I'm moving day by day, mile by mile. Go your way, go your way. Don't give up. You've got to hold on to what you've got. Oh, baby, don't give up. You've got to keep on moving. Don't stop. Yeah, yeah. I know you're hurting, and I know you're blue. I know you're hurting, but don't let the bad things get to you. I'm taking it step by step, bit by bit, bit by bit. Come stone by stone, yeah, brick by brick, brick by brick, step by step. I'm gonna take it now, day by day, mile by mile. Go your own way, go your own way. I'm taking it step by step, bit by bit, stone by stone, yeah, stone by stone, brick by brick. Come on, baby, step by step, keep on moving, day by day, mile by mile.
Well, that's always a good memory, and definitely we always go step by step. So there's no other way to go forward. Ruta, I would love to ask you. You've probably came across people who are emotionally exhausted, disconnected, overwhelmed by modern life, by technology, by the dopamine cycles, all of this. If one of those persons is listening to this podcast, what would you like to tell them? What would you say to such a person, or so many people probably in that condition?
Oh yeah, I really feel that, and I think I've also been disconnected, and I've also been in this place when it's overwhelmed and you are lost, and so I feel very compassionate to that, first of all, because I think sometimes when you are in that space, it's easy to feel alone, and you maybe feel abandoned by the rest of the world. So I want to say, you are not alone. And I want to say that nature always holds your back. So maybe you don't trust all the world now and the human beings, but the natural world always holds your back. And keep on walking, even if the steps are very, very tiny ones. Keep on walking.
I
Thank you.
love it, because I often think, sometimes I say it, but I often think, when we are in one of our programs and I'm thinking, if a day I'm extremely tired, or maybe some people are easier than others to be around with, and I'm thinking, whatever happens, I know that nature always delivers. So fortunately, this is not depending on us. And that's so reassuring, because the moment I realize that, I am the first one that immediately benefits from it, and carry on. Which makes me think, actually, when people finish one of your programs, what do you hope they will bring back into their ordinary lives? What do you think? What do you hope they take in their backpacks back home?
I really hope that we take, that we take that beauty, or that we experience during those walks, because in the end, all experience we live stays with us, right? Stays in our bodies. But of course, those where we pay more attention and focus stay more with us. And so I hope we take beauty, awe, and I think most important, trust that no matter what is going on with your life, you can make it. It takes time. It is sometimes very challenging, but it's possible. It's possible for you to make it, and it's possible for you to live a version of you, the best version that you feel like you are. So. But sometimes it takes time, and it's not one click that makes it happen. So it's trust, it's beauty and awe, and hopefully with that feeling of beauty and awe, when the time is tough, one can remember that maybe the problem is not as big as you are seeing it right now, and nature helps us to put that into perspective.
Definitely. Would you say there is something nature is trying to teach us all and that we are refusing to pay attention to?
I think one of the things is that we are trying to make ourselves complete, right? We are trying to prove something, with in different ways, with our maybe careers, with our strive for a status, or or sometimes just by doing something very simple, we are trying to prove, yet we are already complete. And nature definitely shows us that we are already complete, and we don't have to prove. And nobody judges. We just maybe have an illusion that we are judged or evaluated, but we are already complete. Yeah.
I love it.
That was what I was talking about when we do the walks alone. That's how I feel. Yeah.
Yes, that's well, Ruta, I have to say that This is one of the easiest talks because it feeds back on and on what we are listening. I think we could have gone on for many, many, many more kilometers. It's a pity because we are reaching the end of this podcast. But as we mentioned, we only know the first question and the last one, and the last one is a classic. Fortunately, today I'm the one asking. I know this is one of Nuno's favorite, maybe not the question, but the answers. And I really believe that one day we should put all these questions together and maybe and publish it, because honestly, the answers are so inspiring that I think the world needs to listen more of this. So the question is, if you had a time capsule and there is no size limit, so you can put whatever you want inside, and we're going to shoot it after this into the universe, and maybe tomorrow, maybe 1,000 years from now, someone or some entity, because we don't know where this time capsule will end, what would you put inside? And there's no restrictions here.
I would put unconditional love, that nature offers to us. I would put the fragility of wildflower and vulnerability of wildflower inside. I would put some pine cone to remind about the trees and the smell of the trees. And I would put some blue water from the mountain lakes. I would put some living beings from the forest. And I would put some trust that all of that can, co-live together in peace.
Love
See,
it.
I always love the answer. It's not the question.
Yes.
Well, Ruta, thank you so much.
Thank
Such a beautiful walk that we've just had.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this conversation. I also feel that we could discuss for much longer. I really appreciate your questions. It also made me reflect, and yeah, it was really, really nice and nourishing to talk to both of you.
Keep Walking with Me. It is a podcast inspired by the walking mentorship experience. Step by step, we walk together towards the best version of ourselves. For more information about our mentoring programs, visit our website walkingmentorship.com.